Good morning, all. Today we will start with a new lesson English 2, third chapter The Magic Coins. Children, open page number 24. Let's start with the introduction of the author. Open page number 26. About the author Pedro Pablo Sacristan, 1973 till date. He was born in Madrid. He is a writer of stories for children. Where Pedro was born? He was born in Madrid and he wrote stories for children. Getting started. Have you ever tested anyone to find out whether he or she is honest? Have you ever been tested for your honesty? Think about an incident when you meet a really generous person. Here, honest means truth. Have you ever tested your friend to find out whether he or she is honest? Do you have any honest friend? Or did anyone test you to find out your honesty? Do you remember any incident where you met a honest person? Yes? Your friends or anyone who you met, do they speak really truth? Did you find out? Do you have a honest friend? Yes? Just think about it. There was once a rich and kindly old man who, reaching the end of his days, decided to leave his possessions to some honest and intelligent young man. Speaking of this decision, he told a good friend that he wanted to choose wisely. Here there was one rich old man and he was very kind. So reaching the end means he was aged. So he had only few days. He was not keeping well. So what he did, he had a property, his property. He wanted to give that property to someone who is honest, that means who speaks truth and who is a good person, who is sharp, clever. So he wanted to give his property to that kind of a man so that he could take care of his property. Speaking of this decision, he told a good friend that he wanted to choose wisely. So he was speaking to his friend and he told his friend that I want to choose a clever, intelligent, honest person so that he can take care of my property wisely. The next time you sell something and are giving the customer their change, make sure you give them too much. Whoever returns the extra money to you is honest, advised his friend. To test the honest person, old man's friend advised him to give extra change to the customer to make sure whether the extra money he will return back or no. If the extra money is returned back, then the person is honest. The rich man thanked his friend for the advice and thinking it a good idea and easy to carry out, he decided to try it. What he did not know was that one of those present during the conversation was his neighbor who pretended to be his friend. In actuality, he but was very envious of the rich old man and had the service of a wizard. He paid the wizard to cast a spell on the rich old man's coin. Because of the spell, any customer who saw any coins touched by the old man would see them as the thing that he or she wanted most in the world. Here, the old man thanked his friend for the suggestion. He thought the idea was very good, and when the old man and his friend were talking, there was a person, and the person pretended he was acting to be his friend, the old man's friend. But the neighbor was really jealous. He was a jealous person. He was jealous on the old man's richness. That person, that neighbor, his job was to do magic. Magic in sense, he was using the words, or he was talking in that way that the old man was thinking what he was talking was real, it was true. The neighbor, who was wizard, wanted all old man property, all old man money. He wanted to take away from the old man. With this plan, the envious neighbor believed that no customer would return the old man's change, and having no one to leave his money to, the old man would leave it all to the neighbor's young nephew. What was the plan of that neighbor? His plan was to take away the property from the old man. So he was thinking, the old man had planned, isn't it? He had made a plan of if anyone would return the extra change, he would be honest and he would hand over his property to him. But here, what this neighbor is thinking, no one will give extra change. They will not return the money. All the money they will keep. All the extra money they will keep for themselves. So then what will happen? The old man, he will leave all his property to neighbor's brother's son. Who is this neighbor's brother's son? This neighbor is very rude. Yes, he is very jealous. So he was thinking, all the property will come to my brother's son, my nephew. Indeed, everything went according to the plan for the greedy neighbor, and not a single customer was able to return the enchanted coins. Some saw in these coins the biggest diamond or precious stones. Others saw a work of art. Some saw a relic, and some a miraculous healing potion. What happened here? The extra change was not returned by anyone. All the people kept the extra change for themselves. No one returned it to the old man. In that extra change and extra money, for some it was useful like a diamond, and for some it was useful like a precious stone, because they were not so rich, isn't it? If we get some extra money, we can use for some other purpose. You can have a good life, you can stay good, healthy, wealthy, can lead a good life. So they were thinking, this extra money, it is very useful for us, so we will keep this money, we will not return. So the people were thinking as if it was a miraculous, some magic has happened to them by gaining extra money. When the old man had almost given up trying to find an honest person, the greedy neighbor sent his nephew to the old man's business. He took great care to instruct the boy to return the old man's money. The nephew was determined to do so, but on receiving the enchanted coins, he saw in them all the possessions and honors of his own uncle. Believing that his uncle had tricked him, he came back with the useless coins and his greed. When his uncle learned of his disloyalty, he sent his nephew away forever. The old man was very sad because no one returned him the extra money. He was finding one honest boy, isn't it? One honest person, but he was not able to find any honest person. Then what happened? The greedy neighbor, he made a plan. He made plan and he sent his nephew to work with the old man. So old man taught him everything and he kept the boy to work with him. Then the boy came to know about his uncle's plan. He kept all the money for himself. The coins he kept for himself. He did not give any money to his uncle. Yes, even the nephew was very greedy, so he kept all the money for himself. Then what happened? The neighbor, he came to know about the disloyalty of his nephew. He came to know that his nephew was very greedy and he did not return any money to him. So what he did? he sent him far away from him. He said, I sent you to take away the money and give it to me, but you kept all the money for yourself, so you don't stay with me, you go far away from me, he said, and he sent him away. The rich old man, sick and depressed, decided to call his servants before he died. He gave them some possessions so that they could live freely when he was no longer with them. Among these servants was a young man who received some portion of his money by a mistake. The youth raised in the house of the wise and just old man, whom he loved like a father, saw in place of the money a powerful medicine which could cure the old man, since this was truly what he most wanted in the world. On seeing this, the youth offered the money back to the old man, saying, "Take this, sir, it's for you. It will make you feel better." So, what happened? One day, the old man was sick and sad because he could not find any honest person. So he called all his servants before he died and gave them some money so that they could live their life happily. But there was one man who was wise. He looked at the old man like his father. He was seeing the old man as his father. He returned the money to the old man. He gave the money back to the old man. The person wanted the old man to be cured. He wanted him to get well soon. He didn't wanted the old man money. He just wanted him to see happy and be cured soon. So the person said, "Take this money. I don't want. You keep it for yourself. You'll feel better." He said, "I don't want any of your money. You keep it for yourself. You will feel better. I just want you to be cured as soon as possible." He said, "Get well soon." And the return of that simple coin indeed acted like the most miraculous of cures. The old man leaped with joy at having finally found an honest person, and it filled him with happiness to find that this honest person had been living in his very own house. So what happened? That person returned the coins to old man. He said, "Keep your coins for yourself." So this made that old man so happy. It was like a medicine for him. The coins were like a medicine for him. He felt happy. He felt like jumping from the bed. He was so happy. He was thinking of jumping from the bed. He was thinking, "Oh, I was searching the honest person everywhere. I did not find. At last, that person was in my own house." So where was that honest person found? It was in the old man's house. He was one of the servant. The honest person was one of the servant in the old man's house. And so the young servant went on to manage with great justice, generosity, and honesty all the old man's possessions and business. And the old man went on to accompany and advise him like a son for many more years. So what happened? The servant was honest, so the old man gave him all the property to handle. So the man was handling all the old man's property, his business, everything he was handling with honesty. He was very true to the old man. So what happened? The old man and the servant, the person, they both hand to hand, they went to the office and they handled all their business. The old man advised him, and the old man was alive for many more years. Children, this was the end of the lesson, the magic coins. Now, let me revise you once more. Listen carefully. The story deals with the most important characters of human beings, kindness and honesty. The author introduced as to an old man who is in search of an honest man to hand over his property. He seeks advice from a friend who suggests a plan. According to the plan, the old man would give extra money to the customers who buy things from him. If they return the change, they are honest, and this is how he will find out the right person. However, a greedy neighbor cast a spell on the coins. Due to this, whoever got them visualized in their most desired possessions and hence never returned the extra money. The wicked neighbor and his nephew insist his nephew to return the coins, but unfortunately he was also greedy and did not return the coins. At the end, an honest servant who is more concerned about the welfare of his master, who is more concerned about the health of his master, returns the coin and therefore receives the entire property. Hence, honesty wins at the end and the greedy is punished. That's all for today. In my next class, I will continue with the grammar part. Thank you.